Hi people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ainate Njoku. I'm a certified family life parent and a preteen and teen coach. I help parents become intentional in their parenting journey, sharing daily tips from my expertise, from my experience, books I've authored, coaching sessions for parents and also for their preteens and teens. Um, Offline, I work as a family life practitioner, support worker. I work with vulnerable families, especially preteens and teens from those vulnerable families, helping them build their self-esteem, equipping them with social skills that they will need to function in today's world. So thank you for being here. Please, if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe, like this video, share, and drop me a comment, because I share videos, every day, once a week, on my Instagram, almost every day, and on YouTube here, once a week, and shorts. So please do engage, like, encourage me, to show up here every day. So today I received this question from someone on my Instagram, and I thought to quickly, address it. She says, "Hi, ma'am, how do you get your son to love reading? I have a daughter similar age, and I love her to start reading more. Thank you." Um, and she sent me this message because I shared a video of my son. I just shared a video here, how we were walking past a charity shop, and then he saw some books that he liked, and then we bought them. If you know me, you know that I like to show processes. And if you follow me on my Instagram, you know that I show my parenting journey, everything that I do with my children. And at the beginning of the year, there were some battles. I shared something on my Instagram, the battles to pick with your children. The first battle is the reading fight. The second one is the outside fight. The reading fights, I always show how I take my children to the library, and which is why I'm going to be sharing majorly in this video. So let's leave that one. Let me go to the other ones. The outside fights. If you follow me on my Instagram, you see that I take my children outside. We go to the park. We ride bike. I ride bike. We ride our bikes together. We walk. The third one is the walk slash chore fight. I show you sometimes when my children do chores. I also encourage parents to, carry their children along as they do these chores. I shared this video
Okay,
too
so you're
recently. We
this?
want them to do
Yeah.
chores, but when they
But
do
you
it
want
to
this?
not to our
Yeah.
satisfaction, we
Okay,
get
so in
angry.
order to
So in that
get
video, I was
that, you
saying let
have
them
to
do it
do
regardless.
this.
That's the chore fight. Next one is the meal fight. Make sure that your children are eating healthy. My children eat an apple a day. They are not really good with vegetables and all that. They eat carrots, but they must eat an apple a day. The boredom fight, let our kids be bored. The me first stroke wait fight. This one says make your kids go last. Not every time for everything. So they know that they have to wait. The difficult conversation fight, having difficult conversations with your children as regards sex, dating. If you have preteens and teens, you have to be on this fight. Next one is the limitation fight, learning to live with limits, screen time limits, dietary limits, activity limits, and schedules limits. The next one is the creative fights. You guys know that I'm always about my children doing something. They've learned how to plait hair, they've learned coding. In fact, I want to enroll them for makeup in the new year. So the creative fight, your children have to be doing something. So that was it. But this particular video is focused on reading, the reading fight. How did I get my son David, to read? His sisters read, but I was trying to get him in particular. So the first thing I would say is you have to say, this year I will get my child to get to read. You have to be determined in your heart and say, I want my child to read. And these are the steps that I'm going to be sharing. So the first thing for me is I read. I am not a bookie person, when I was in primary school, I used to read. But I mean, life happens, you just grow up, adulthood takes over. I joined a book club. So I'm in a book club now, where we read a book every month. So at the end of the year, I've read 12 books, and this is not some of the parenting books that I buy. along the way. In fact, I bought 2 new parenting books that I'm going to be reading in this holiday. So I read, and my children see me read. And you know what we say about parenting, that parenting is not more what you say, but what you do. They watch what you're doing. So if you're not reading and you're telling your child, go and read, it's you're sending you're a hypocrite, you know. So I read. The second thing is I take them to the library. I have several videos on my Instagram where I'm taking them to the library, where they go, they see books, they pick books for themselves. They choose the one that they want, the one that they can read. And then what I do is, after reading, they have to either write what they get from the book, or they explain to me, or they stand and just tell me, a brief story, just review the book. Another thing I do with David is that I read with him. So I read with him. So David comes back from school every week with 2 books. So I read with him. And how do I get that? We schedule a time to read. We read on Thursdays and on Saturdays, just because of other schedules that we have. So on Thursdays, his sisters go for swimming. So while we're waiting for his sisters, we're reading one book. And then on Saturday, just before they go on their tablets, because they don't go on their tablet throughout the week, and then the weekend they have their tablet. Just before he goes on the tablet, we read one book, and then we do his homework for the week. So that's how. So schedule it. So read yourself as a parent. Read with your child. Schedule it. If we all know how tight our schedules are. So if you can say, we'll read at social time, it also prepares the child on how to read. And then buy books for them. One of their Christmas, I have a list of books that all my girls are going to read throughout this year. I'm going to start buying. So I'm going to see to it that they read it. It's not just about saying, I want my child to do this. You have to help your child achieve that. You understand? Even for bigger kids, if you have to add an incentive to it, like, okay, if you read one book, I'll give you 5 quid, something like that. Just encourage them to read, and before you know it, it will be a habit. There's no special way. This is just the way that I've done it. There's no special way. They need to see you read. You need to encourage them. And you need to make time. It's not just about saying, I want my child to read. Are you available to help them? It's the same thing with chores. So your children grow up watching you do chores. At some point, you begin to do it with them. At some point, you begin to let them do it themselves. Watch them. Anyhow they do it, let them do it themselves. And before you know it, so you're building them up to be able to do these things for themselves. And that's what I've done with David, for reading. Now, anywhere we're going, he's reading. I'm going to show a clip of him in church. He's reading. He's using his fingers to read the Bible in church. I just put on my phone to catch that moment. And when they start to read, support them, buy them books. He particularly told me about Horrid Henry books. We went to Amazon, looked at it. I told him, pick the ones you want. And then something just say, go to the charity shops. In charity shops, they have lots of books. There's no need buying a new one where you can read, what someone has read and is still in good condition. So went to charity shop, bought a lot, and that's what I'm going to be doing. And I also have lots of books, that my girls have read over the years. I'm just looking for a way to send them to every child that needs them. So that's how I was able to get David to start reading. He's not he's not there yet, and these fights, like I said, are things that we have to go through every single year. So next year again, we'll continue. It doesn't stop. So the reading fight, the outside fight, what's the next one? I'm going to share this again on my Instagram. I share it every year just so that we put ourselves in check. And I also have a guide for parents. So let me read them. So the reading fight, the outside fight, the work chore fight, the meal fight, the boredom fight, the me weight fight, difficult conversation fight, the limitation fight, the creative fight. If you have preteens and teens, that creative fight should be one of your top 1 or top 2, because we need them to be creative. So what I wanted to share is, I wanted to share this and also say, I'm looking for something. And a guide to setting parenting goals. I have it free on my Instagram. So if you want to set parenting goals for your children, there are steps to go about it. So this guide will help you. It's a link in my bio. It's free. Go get a copy for yourself. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Compliments of the season to you and your family. And I'll see you in my next one. Peace.
The most important thing that you can do to inspire your child to read is for you to read to them, with them, and around them. Because children don't do what you tell them, they do what you do. So if you want your child to be a reader, and I hope you do, then you have to be a reader too. By far, role modeling reading is the most viable and important thing that you can do to inspire your child to embrace the joy and
Damn.